Yes, people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. It's been a while, it's been emotional, been in a few places Newcastle, Bratislava, Vienna. Just came back late last night, landed at Stansted, drove back after going to Newcastle at weekend and driving down to Stansted straight after the game. It's been a hectic week, but it's been a good week. It's been an enjoyable week. I'll touch on the Newcastle game because I didn't have time to do a reaction after that. Um, it was a bit of a mixed bag for me, that Newcastle game, I'll be honest. The morning I received the news that a good friend of mine had passed away. Um, Danny Struthers, rest in peace, Danny. Great Man City fan, real big blue. Always the life and soul of every away trip. People might remember him. FA Cup final, Stoke. There was a lad on top of the beer tent in the Green Man, and he got pelted with beers and all that. And well, that was Danny. Um, Danny had a rough card dealt to him a couple of years ago. His daughter was killed in a hit and run, and he never recovered from it. I'll be honest, he never recovered from it. He was never the same guy. Anyway, he ended up getting a bad news. He was diagnosed with cancer, and the last couple of the years has been a bit of a struggle for him. And anyway, he passed Saturday morning, which wasn't the news I wanted to wake up to, but I just want to pay tribute to him as a top lad, a Moston Blue, born and bred, real good friend of ours. And yeah, it's such a sad thing. But this one's for Danny Struthers. That win in Bratislava was for Danny and his family, his dad Gary and his missus and everybody, all big blues. Little Mia now, he's back up in heaven with his daughter. So but yeah, sorry to be a bearer of a sad beginning to the video, but I just needed to mention that Danny Struthers, great friend of mine, big blue, rest in peace. So yeah, I went to Newcastle, met all the lads outside the pub, the Victoria Comet. Plenty of City fans getting off the train. We gets in the ground after going up 65 fucking flights of stairs. If you've ever been to Newcastle away, you know what it's like. It's grim. And yeah, looking at the midfield in the game from the start, I thought we were a little bit slow. Ilkay Gundogan probably had one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. He was just not really out the races. Kovacic was trying his best in there. Rico, I think, in midfield, he's a little bit light. He's better when he comes in off the right into midfield for me in little fits and spurts. I feel he affects the game more. But when he's in there from the off, I don't feel like he has the same impact. And yeah, overall, it was disappointing. It was 1-1. Great goal by Josko Gvardiol, little turn and bottom corner. And then the penalty, disappointing because I feel like City were okay until that. I didn't feel like Newcastle were really threatening. They were huffing and puffing. The crowd were getting excited, but I didn't think we were under any immediate pressure. I've watched the penalty again. You're always at fault if you go down like that. He's made a meal of it. He has. Even Alan Shearer, Matt Letizia, I seen said it wasn't a penalty, but it's Manchester City. It is what it is. Apparently, we don't get any decisions against us, and we win the league every year because the refs in our pocket and all this. It's just nonsense. But we took it on the chin. We got a point. We'll take it. It's early in the season. 2 points on the trot. Arsenal at home, Newcastle away is not ideal, but we move. We keep on moving. We've got Fulham this week, so we need to make sure we're ready for that. And then it was all eyes on Bratislava. Great lads, great trip. Got to Bratislava on Sunday. Mad Mike from Leicester, he knows who he is. Got his phone pinched in the Red Lion karaoke bar. So we had dramas there. Albanian doorman, kebabs. It had a lot the first night. But I'll tell you something, the city of Bratislava was beautiful. Absolutely clean, beautiful city. So welcoming, the people. And it was fantastic. And The City fans, we sort of pitched up at the Dubliner, the bar in the town centre. Irish bar, typical Irish bar, serving good food, bit of music and that. Real nice pub, great pub. We had some good days there. There was loads of rumours going around. Oh, this Slovan Bratislava fans, these ultras and this. They did this at Celtic. They did that at Celtic. We literally didn't see any. No fans came into the town centre of Bratislava. Whether that was a police thing, I don't know, but they didn't. Anyway, on the Monday night, we was out in the Red Lion. We had a massive karaoke sing along. You've seen the videos online. On the Sunday, I did a bit of Oasis. On the Monday, I decided to leave it to the lads who'd had a few ales. Some great songs. We Are City, We Love Lager. We're taking over Bratislava, the Christmas song. People were fuming that we were singing a Christmas song in October, but it is what it is, people. You've got to go with the tunes. So we ended up having a great night in there. We ended up going to a late one down the road, just a nice simple bar. And I've got to say a big special mention to my friend Mcfc lads, who had to be carried out of the bar on Monday night because he was very, very drunk. Yes, and very, very loud. And he was dropping his pint on the floor and all that. But I'll tell you what, it was great to see a young lad like Luke enjoying himself. You know what I mean? The Bratislavian lager was clearly stronger than the Carlsberg and Carling that we drink at home, because I've never seen him like this. But we will continue with Luke's story as the day goes on. So Luke had a great night Monday. The City fans had a great night Monday. We were all singing and that in the Red Lion. Big up the Red Lion. And then match day, same thing. Lots of City fans were arriving in the Dubliner. Mad Mike from Leicester still hadn't shut up about his phone that he lost, but it was his own fault because he just keeps leaving it everywhere. So he'd lost his phone. We had to wait for some shuttle buses to come and pick us up. And I don't know if you've ever been to these European aways. When they say that we're going to get you on these shuttle buses, it's usually like a bit like a cattle market. You're getting pushed all over the place. Get on this bus, wait here, do this. So people wasn't keen on it, you know what I mean? But we walked down to the meeting spot and it couldn't have been any different, to be fair. The Slovakian police were absolutely brilliant. They didn't order us around. They didn't manhandle us. They got us on the buses nice and efficiently. They didn't ram the buses full. They give us a police escort all the way to the ground. And then at the away end, they let us out the away end. No problem. They marched us up to the turnstile with brief search, straight in the ground. Absolutely no dramas, no attitude, nothing. So big up to the Slovakian police because they really treated us well. We got in the away end. It's a modern ground. It's only small. We had the perspex at the front and the netting over the top of us. Obviously, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. You could get a drink and everything was cool. I think we knew as City fans, without being arrogant, that this Bratislava team was not a great side. They've been to Celtic and been it for 5. So I think this was just to get the job done. The team news came out, couple of changes, Ortega, etc. starting. He went with Savinho and Doku, which was only going to end in bad news for them. And listen, City come out and dominated the game. Dominated the game first half. Do you know what I mean? I've got to mention Vladimir Wies. That rolled back the years. Manchester City old school academy graduate. I think he won the Youth Cup with us. I think he scored 1 goal for us in his time. I think it was a Carabao Cup game against Arsenal or something. But he was a great little player for us. And he went on to have a good career at Glasgow Rangers and stuff. Well, he's the captain. So it was good to see him. He was very emotional when he left the pitch. The City fans were singing once a blue, always a blue. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was great to see that. And then the goals in the first half, Ilkay Gundogan and Phil Foden, great couple of goals. Man City just dominated the game. We kept possession well. I thought that Rico Lewis played really, really well. Gundogan bounced back, had a great game. Jeremy Doku, again, we've said it on this channel, very, very good, but very, very frustrating. We're going at half-time 2-0. It was really, really easy, to be fair. I think the Slovan fans were just there to see Erling Haaland. I think when Haaland scored in the second half, I think a lot of their fans actually jumped up. It was a bit weird, but it is what it is. And in the second half, yeah, fantastic ball through from Rico. Early rounds, the goalkeeper slots it in, it's free. And then Pep makes a couple of changes late on. Great to see Mcfc getting some minutes. And he got his goal. First Champions League goal for Mcfc. Great to see academy graduates coming through and scoring on these big nights. And yeah, it was a relatively easy game. No troubles, no injuries, 4-0. Pep managed to give people minutes, John Stones, etc., getting minutes. So I think overall, as City fans, we were happy with the performance. The away end was good. Everyone was happy. And it was one of the best away trips, I'd say, I've done in the last few years. From start to finish, I thought it was great. I didn't feel like any animosity or anything from the locals. It was just, they welcomed us in with open arms. And anyone going to Bratislava or thinking of going to Bratislava for a weekend break, highly recommended. Highly recommended. But half time, I decided to go for a piss. In there was a young lad crouching down, being sick in the bin. Yes, you guessed it. It was Luke, MCFC lads, on the hangover from the night before. He looked absolutely white as a ghost. If you go on my Instagram and look on the highlights of Bratislava, you will see him trying to put a brave face on it. But the 1,000 City fans, all using one toilet at half time, all seeing Luke, yeah, being sick in the bin. So, yes, it's he suffered, but he was there. He made the game. And the next morning, he sent me a picture. He was having an all-you-can-eat breakfast for €12 in Bratislava, and he was back in the game. So big up Luke, MCFC lads. He had a great time. It's really good to see the young lads enjoying themselves and staying safe and that. And yeah, it was good to see. But really, Blues, it was a relatively easy win. We needed to get the 3 points on the board after the draw against Inter. So we're taking it. But let me know what you think in the comments. Did anyone stake a claim to play against Fulham? You know, is the midfield that he picked against Newcastle, Kovacic, Gundogan and Lewis, do you think that's too slow? I thought, for me, Bernardo Silva should have been in there just to add a little bit of energy. We're talking on the trip about Haaland. If Erling did get injured or pick up a knock or run out of steam a bit, who would we play up front? We've seen Foden going in the false 9. We saw Jack Grealish come on the other day and go in the 10 with Mcfc up front. So I feel like Pep's got options, but January for me can't come quick enough. I feel like we do need to strengthen the squad. I do feel like we need to add bodies. January is always going to be hard. Nobody wants to sell in January. We know that. But I feel like City's got a big pot of money rested aside for signings. So I feel like we've got to get out there and make a statement, because these Arsenal fans who've won fuck all, by the way, in how many years, are now giving it the big, and every time the tide has changed, the pendulum has swung. I mean, I don't know how you can say that sort of nonsense when you've not won nothing. Do you know what I mean? But if you mention that you've won 4 leagues in a row, apparently you're rattled. If you mention that, you know, you've won the treble and all this stuff and they've won 0, apparently you're rattled. And if you argue the fact that, yes, we haven't beat you in 4 games, but we've won 4 leagues on the trot, and you've had 2 fantastic starts to the season, and at the end of the season you fell about and come second, apparently you're rattled. So you're not allowed to mention anything about, you know, their downfall. Apparently it's all about the tide has changed. And apparently Arsenal are the best team anyone's ever seen without winning a trophy. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, let's see. So we just got to make sure we do what we do. They can make all the noise. There's a very special saying that I've made up, but I like it. Arsenal, dancing in September, crying in May, playing football the Arsenal way. That's all you need to know. Says everything it does on the tin. Plenty of noise, plenty of shouting, plenty of we're going to do this, we're better than you, we've got the best centre-backs, we've got this, we've got that, we got that. Oh, that's great in September, October. But when it comes to May and you've lost the league and it's like we didn't do enough, we lost it against Aston Villa, we didn't lose it against Man, and you're trying to justify it, it doesn't matter to us. We're the ones having a parade, we're the ones on the pitch celebrating the title. So keep mouthing it, keep pushing it, keep trying to make this rivalry that doesn't exist, you know. You can say you want war, you can say all this, but nobody gives a shit about Arsenal. Not in Manchester anyway. Nobody cares. It's not a rivalry to us. They've not done anything to rival us. Arsenal have never upset me in my life. Never. They've never beat us in a cup final. They've never took a league title off us. They've never thrashed us in a title race. So why would we? Why has anyone asked about Arsenal? You know what I mean? It's all a lot of hot air. It's all a lot of nonsense. If we pulled a highlight reel up of their fans talking shit, we'd have a 2-hour fucking documentary on it. So at the end of the day, keep your nut down, keep moving. Man City, we keep going again. We're not at the races. We never are early doors, but we're keeping it moving, and Pep will get it right. Pep will get it right. So I'm not panicking. You know what I mean? Next game is Fulham. Fulham at home this weekend. It will be a tough game. I do believe that. I feel like Fulham aren't actually a bad side. I've watched them a couple of times. Emile Smith-Rowe has got a new lease of life there. They're ticking along okay. Jimenez up front, he's a bit of an handful at the minute. I feel like Fulham are a good, steady team. And if City aren't at the races, then we're going to struggle. But I think, you know, we've got to go and get 3 points back on the board. After Newcastle and Arsenal, we've got to go and get a win. Make sure people know that we're back in it. Pep will pick the correct team, I think. I've not heard anything on Kevin De Bruyne. I feel like he's another one that's going to get injuries and niggles this season. We need to make sure we've got backup. So I don't know what you guys think. Fulham at home, is it going to be an easy one? I don't think it is. I think it's going to be tough. Brentford style, you know what I mean? We've got to grind it out and get the win. But, you know, we'll see. But anyway, people, thanks for tuning in. That was my little preview, moan about Newcastle, telling you how good Bratislava was. But it was fantastic to see the City fans out there singing and getting a win on the Champions League nights. It's great stuff. And all eyes now turn to Fulham. Let's get back on the horse and keep on moving. Too early in the season to be getting worried about draws at Newcastle, etc., etc. There's going to be these little blips up and coming. We've just got to keep on the coattails of whoever's around that top. We get to the last 10 games of the season and we're in touching distance of that top spot. That is when we kick into gear. That is when the mentality kicks in, and that's when Man City do their business, you know what I mean? So we got to keep on going. But please hit the like button. Please share this amongst your friends in groups, etc., etc. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube at Big Steve MCFC, Instagram at Big Steve MCFC, and TikTok at Big Steve MCFC, where you can see little highlights of Bratislava, etc. Please leave a comment below. I'll try and read them all tonight and get back to everybody. Thanks for watching my channel again. Come on, City. Roll on Fulham weekend. Up the Blues.